What is going on? Welcome back to Trending Stocks. Today I want to talk to you about Virgin Galactic, ticker is SPCE. I'm going to go over the technicals and the data points behind the scenes and give you a good overview of potentially where things might be going. So I'm going to go over all the stuff you need to know. Make sure you guys hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. And without further ado, let's get right to it. So as you can see, it is down an astonishing almost 10%. And this sell-off isn't just Virgin Galactic related. This is just broader market. A lot more fears are being brought up, especially with Walmart and Home Depot having their earnings and potentially signaling that a bumpy road ahead for 2023 is coming. So definitely something to be aware of. But behind the scenes, what is the data truly saying? So based on the options activity, it is still a little mixed based on my last update. I believe it was on the 16th, but a lot more calls still being purchased, insinuating that behind the scenes that there is some upside estimated to be coming. And when it comes down to it, I'll give you a quick update while I'm on Ortex. As far as short data and various other things, short score is currently 80, utilization is 100%, shares on loan is 83.41 million, so that is very, very high. And as far as what shorts are doing today, they are in fact increasing 418,000 shares, bringing the grand total to 23.23% of their free float being shorted. That is very, very high if you want to consider it that way. 51.79 million shares is in fact being shorted. Cost to borrow is fairly low though, so 2.17%, but still behind the scenes there's a lot of people betting against space and Virgin Galactic. So once again, let me know your thoughts on that. Like I mentioned previously, as far as options, I'll give you a good overview of this. So this is a put/call ratio, has gone down a little bit since January the 27th. So a lot more calls being purchased here, but generally there was a massive amount of puts. So clearly that might mean that people were betting against it. But at the same time though, it could be said that the volume was significantly lower during this time frame. So maybe that had something to do with it. When it comes down to big buying that's been happening on both the secondary market and dark pool, there's been no transactions today over $100,000 on the secondary market. And when it comes down to the dark pool, there's been two transactions today, $355,000 and $106,000. So once again, I'm just listing the points. You guys interpret that how you see that. Typically though, dark pool is very much linked to shorting. So of course, I think this is very much just coinciding with what I mentioned on shorts getting in. But one thing that I did bring up previously was this. So based on the latest Morningstar report, it does show extreme for uncertainty, but the fair market value is $10.30. So keep in mind, we're down quite a lot. So still in general though, it goes to show that the underlying assets are still fairly valuable, and behind the scenes is just getting completely slammed, which like I mentioned, very much linked to the heavy shorting that's been happening. When it comes down to ratings, I think a lot of analysts are very much waiting on the sidelines for some good reason and justification to really increase their position. And I'll give you a quick summary of this. On a side note, I am on Interactive Broker. So for instance, if you like a lot of this information, such as which analyst is giving ratings, the price target, and various things, you can click on the link in the description below or the comments. Just play around. It does have a lot of good information, but looks like this was by Wolf Research 4 days ago, upgraded their rating, but they didn't give a price target. And then there is right here, Wells Fargo did give a $3 price target and a sell, and that was roughly about 6 days ago. They did maintain that. So once again, let me know your thoughts on that. Both of these analysts do seem to have fairly good success rates if you want to consider it that way. So Miles with Wolf 63% and Matthew Aker 67%. So at this stage, it's just a little bit more of a Russian roulette. Clearly some people are very optimistic about space, some aren't. And I think at the end of the day, most likely it's going to be the tail end of 2023. That's when you're going to start seeing some substantial real gains in Virgin Galactic. My own interpretation, of course, but when it comes down to the technicals, let's give you a good breakdown of that. Like I said on the actual chart, it is higher percentile of the Bollinger Band, so in that regard, it's fairly good. It is above all the pivotal moving averages, so in theory, even though it's down roughly about 10%, it still is fairly optimistic. And as far as some points to really watch for, we're right here based on the Fibonacci. So $5.74 is where it is at right now. So between the P and the R1. So still fairly optimistic. optimistic and bullish. I know, like I said, it's down 10%. It's hard to be positive, but it's actually holding some pretty good support. So $4.94 is the next point to watch for. Of course, if it does break below that, then anticipate it to go down to roughly around 4. And then, of course, this is new 52-week level at this stage. But when it comes down to this aspect, so I'm just going to show you here. So stochastic is very much overbought a little bit, 62. So kind of high right now. Momentum number retail investors are just completely out today. So I think in general, just a lot of the earnings that's been coming out is spooking investors, and especially over a long weekend, nobody wants to start off the week with fear. So clearly retail is getting out. But once again, let me know your thoughts on all of this in the comments below. Give yourself a shout out as well if you are buying at this stage and potentially where you see things going, because when it comes down to, for instance, Virgin Galactic, it does and has the ability to easily go up very, very fast. But like I said, I don't think there's any fundamental big catalyst until I think it's more so the second half of 2023. But keep in mind, I am not a financial advisor, so do your own due diligence at the end of the day. But with all that said, though, I just want to share one thing with you. There is a massive promo only up until February the 28th, and that is with Momo. Click on the link, sign up for a free account, and it gives you one free stock. Each stock is valued up to $2,000, so it's a complete no-brainer just to sign up and literally get your one free stock. It's kind of easy stuff. And if you want to throw $100 down at it, it gives you additional 4 free stocks. So in my opinion, it's kind of a no-brainer. So let me know your thoughts on all this in the comments below. Don't forget to take advantage of this promo. And with that said, let's all make a lot of money on space.